The third category of codes is called line-up paths. So this category basically has 6 motions, which are L1, L2, L3 and L4, L5 and L6. These codes are mainly used for the motion of lining up paths in line with the machine while sewing. The first code of the category is called L1, which is when a single ply is to be aligned with the other ply while sewing. Let us see the video to understand this. The two parts are being joined together and the first ply has to be aligned with the second ply before sewing. So we have getting the part that is to be aligned, that is a precise get, repositioning it over the part which will be underneath it, which is a precise put, and then a hand on over the part to assist the sewing. Let us see the video again with code display. Precise get on the part, precise put or repositioning of the part, and then a hand on, which is a GA. The second code of the category is called L2 and is used when both the parts are to be aligned by lifting them up in the air. So we have two parts, both of them are grasped and then aligned at a point, a regrasp to start sewing. If you notice in the video, both the parts have a notch mark where they are to be aligned and then matched at a point. This is the common case when this code is used, but it is not very obvious that the similar conditions remain at the same time. There are times when a notch mark is not there, but it still has to be aligned with an L2 code. So you get the first part, a GC30, get the second part, which is a GC5. The distance is only 5 centimeters because the second hand is already near the second ply by the time you get the first part. And then a repositioning that is matching both of them at the notch mark is a PC5, and then a regrasp. Entire motions have assistance of right hand. Let us see the video again. The first get, second get, aligning them together, a put motion, and then a regrasp. This time with code display, getting the first part 30 centimeters, getting the second part, aligning it at a point, a PC5 and a regrasp. L2 long or line up two parts is actually an extension of the L2 code, but for parts which are longer in length, like while sewing seams of a garment. So this usually happens in a garment which has side seams which are long, maybe a dress or a adult shirt. So the motions over here till the regrasp part are the same, but have an extension which are 3 extra motions. Let us see the video. Getting both the parts, aligning them at a point, a regrasp, and this motion is the extension that is taking your hand to the mid and then aligning them again. So we have get first part, but this time getting it precisely at a distance of 80 centimeter because the length of the ply is more. Getting the second part remains the same, that is a GC5, repositioning both of them at a point, that is PC5, a regrasp, which would usually be to assist sewing, but this time there are other motions which are get parts because the operator takes her or his hand to the mid of the plies and then adjusts the edges in the mid again, and then a PA30 because she straightens to the foot to start stitching. Let's see this with code display. Taking both the hands, grasping both the parts, GC30, GC5, repositioning them at a point, PC5, a regrasp, taking her hand all the way in mid and then straightening it. If you see again, you will notice the PB5 which is straightening to the foot. So she gets both the parts, aligns them at a single point, which is a PC5, this part is called straightening to the foot. Let's watch it again. Getting both the parts, GC30 and GC5, aligning them at a point, PC5, a regrasp, taking our hand with a GA, a PB to match, and this part is PA30, which is straightening it towards the foot. The third category third code in the category is L3, and the code stands for lining a part right under the foot, and simply involves a put code of putting it under the foot. So taking a part and putting it under the foot is what L3 stands for. That is lining up directly under the foot without a get, when the hand is already holding the piece. So this motion would be an L3, that is putting a part under the foot. A PC30, precisely putting it under the foot. The fourth code is called L4 and is known as lining up parts for second seams. That is, after stitching one side of the seam or a single seam, switching for the other end of the seam. That is, if you're stitching the right seam, you'll be switching onto the left seam of a shirt or a dress to start stitching. So another thing that is to be kept in mind over here, that at this moment the ply is already beyond the needle. Let us see the video. The part is beyond the needle, getting the part, the left seam, bringing it close, a regrasp and putting it under the foot, and a regrasp to start sewing. So she gets the part on the left end from beyond the needle, that is when the piece has gone beyond the needle. If you see again, once the piece is out of the needle, only then she gets the second part. So getting the part beyond the needle, precisely bringing it close to her body, which is anywhere, put anywhere, a regrasp to have a better grasp so that she can put it under the foot, which is the next motion, PC15, and then a regrasp or hand on to assist the sewing, which is denoted by an R. All this time the right hand always assists the left hand with this motion. Let us switch again. Once the part is out of the needle, she gets the parts, brings it close, regrasp, putting it under the foot, and then a regrasp again. Getting the part precisely, bringing it close to her body, a regrasp, putting it under the foot, and then a hand on or a regrasp. L5 is the fifth code in the category and is also called as pivot part. L5 is for motions used during a pivot action, that is while turning 90 degrees after or from a particular point with the needle down into the fabric. An apt example would be collar making, where stitch line forms an angle at the corner points, like over here. Now these corners have a pivot action at the corner points while sewing. So if you see the video, pivot basically includes getting the part, pivoting it to the angle, and start sewing. So the codes are getting the part from anywhere, get anywhere, because there does not have to be a precise point where you have to get the fabric from, because the needle is already into the fabric to guide the motion. Pivoting it, which is accurate at 90 degrees, then a lower foot or a foot motion is given because the presser foot is being lowered onto the fabric before sewing. If you see the video clearly, she gets the part, puts it or pivoting, and then lowers the foot down before her sewing. So let's do this again. Getting the part from anywhere, putting it at an angle accurately or pivoting it, and then a pressure foot is down, which is an F motion or a foot motion. The last code in the category is called L6, also known as repositioning or straightening of a part. So L6 is repositioning a part that hinders the quality or process of sewing. Combination of getting fabric and putting it aside to the desired position is what L6 is. So you get the part precisely and put it anywhere in a position which will not hinder your sewing process. This is usually done to avoid the air spaces or crumbling of fabric while sewing, so that your stitch remains constant and in a straight line. Let's see the video. Now this motion of getting the part and then putting it aside is what's called L6. A single get and a put aside will be one L6. So she performs many L6 during the operation. Let's see this again. Getting the part precisely and putting it aside to anywhere. That was all for this topic. If you have any doubts regarding the concepts explained in the video, well, feel free to question us using our chat column on the right end of the web page, and we look forward to solving your queries as soon as possible.